Welcome everyone to Off the Cuff. I'm Adam Banks. Thank you for listening to the show. The Wildcats are now officially 29-0 and are on the brink of being 30-0 if we can defeat the Georgia Bulldogs down in Athens tomorrow night. Now this has been without question one of the most special teams we have had ever here at UK. We've seen Cal do a lot of things different with this team simply because of the sheer amount of talent on one team. There's two platoons, the blue platoon and the white platoon, and this has allowed Cal to showcase most players in a single game. A player who I feel like has made a huge contribution to this team is Tyler Ulis. Personally, he is my favorite player at UK, and it's not just because we stand at eye level. It's because this kid is absolutely unbelievable. So I've decided to get James Ulis on the show today. He is the father of Tyler Ulis, and he currently resides in Illinois. So via the telephone, let's go ahead and welcome to the show Mr. James Ulis. James, thanks for doing the show. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
I'm doing just fine, man. I want to thank you for doing the show. James, you are a big college basketball fan, so you were probably very much aware of how intense the Big Blue Nation fans are with their basketball team. But now that your son, Tyler Ulis, is in Lexington playing basketball here, you have gotten to see up close and personal what that's like. So how do you feel about all this attention this team is getting and watching your son on CBS and ESPN twice a week? As a father, how does that make you feel?
It makes you feel good. I mean, Tyler getting out play out his dreams in front of the best fans in college basketball and play, to me, with the best players in the country and then for the best coach in the country. I think for me, it paid off. A lot of his hard work has paid off, obviously, and I know inside, and he feels really good about it. And the way this season's going, you couldn't have predicted a better situation for your son. So it's been awesome.
I absolutely agree with you. Now, it is my understanding that your son Tyler lived with you in Chicago while playing basketball at Marian Catholic High School. When did Tyler start getting offers from Division I schools, and who was the very first major Division I school to reach out to Tyler?
So he probably, as a sophomore, I think Iowa may have been the first big Division I school. Big Ten, obviously, one of the major conferences. I think Iowa may have been the first one. I think he was a sophomore.
Okay, so I've always wondered as a fan, and I'm sure all of our listeners who are mostly UK fans, we've always kind of wondered, what is that recruiting process like? Does Coach Cal, does he come to your house? What does he do? Does he sit down? Does he have a cup of coffee, a nice big glass of iced tea? What is it that he does when he gets to your house?
Well, it's different. Obviously, there's a home visit. There's a visit, you as a parent and family make to the school to do, you do unofficial visits. I did an unofficial to a few schools, but we all, obviously did one in the UK. And so now you talk, you try to get to know the coach try to, get to know you, talk to you about the school and, why it would be great for your son to come here. But, UK, man, obviously Cal told us about their expectations and how, UK, you can't hide. I mean, if you can play, it'll be evident. They'll love you. If you can't play, you won't be able to play. And obviously it won't be a great feeling for you. But he laid out the expectations and told us what to expect. Obviously, I've watched Cal, I've watched UK over the years, and I know it's high expectation there. So that made it even more enticing for Tyler because he felt like he was one of the better players in the country. And so that's where he fit, at one of the best schools in the country. So I think, it's a fun, great experience. And, for me, I was excited to see how excited Tyler was that UK was interested in bringing him there.
Right, and Cal, he says all the time, he says, if you come here, I cannot hide you. So if you can't play, don't come here because I cannot hide you.
Got it, yep.
Yep.
Exactly what he told us.
Yeah, and there's nothing more true than that right there. So what advice did you give your son when he was making one of the biggest decisions of his athletic career? What advice, as a father, do you give your son in that type of big, major decision?
First of all, I told him to make the decision he felt was best for him. Don't worry about me, don't worry about mom, don't worry about friends, and people, from outside and what they thought or because he's the one that's got to be at UK. He's the one you got to play. You're going to play for the coach. I mean, it's not hard to see how Cal coaches. He's watching him over the years. I mean, we had a good time last year watching him as him and Aaron, developed their relationship and how tough he is on his point guards and how the expectations are so high. So I just told him to do his best. I felt like I raised him right. At the end, he did ask for my advice and said, "Hey, what do you think about me going to UK?" I said, "I think it's a great fit." And I just told him to go where he'd like to go because he has to be there. I don't have to be there. His mom, his friends, or whoever. And I said, make the decision where you feel like you're going to be most happy. And he studied the game, and he knew that the Cavs offense and the players that would be around him would fit his style of play. And obviously it's worked out great for him.
Absolutely. Tyler's going to make it to the NBA, James. No doubt about it. I really do think he will. And growing up, did Tyler have a favorite NBA team that he loved watching? And if he could pick really any NBA team to go to, would it be the Chicago Bulls? Who would it be?
Well, so first of all, growing up, he did think he'd make the NBA. So most of his goals that he put in front of himself early on, he's actually accomplished all of them. But I think if he had to, Chicago, we're not from Chicago, we're originally from Ohio. But, I can't say he wants to play for Cleveland. I think at this point, his first goal is to make it to the league. And at this point, I think he'd be excited about whoever's drafting. But if he had to pick, if I had to pick it, man, I love wanting to play for the Lakers. But
yes,
I think at this point, I can't really say because he's never really had a really NBA team. He's like a player. So younger, he was an Iverson fan. So, of course, he loved everything. That's why he wears number 3. Obviously, LeBron, he was a Miami fan. But he's more than a player. He's a big Chris Paul fan. So, obviously, the Clippers and Lakers. But I'd love to see him go to the Lakers. So,
yeah.
But I think at this point, if you would have told me your son's going to get drafted, or if he does get drafted, wherever he'd go, I think he'd be excited about that. And then, after that, it's about him helping, doing the best he can do to help the team win and so on and so on. But that's a dream of a lot of kids. So anybody that picked him would be great.
Absolutely. Tyler reminds me, when I watch him play, he reminds me a lot of Isaiah Thomas from the Detroit Pistons, the bad boys.
Yep.
Do you see any resemblance between the way Isaiah Thompson and Tyler Ulis plays?
Well, obviously, Isaiah, Hall of Famer, great scorer, great assistant. I think Tyler's leadership resembles Isaiah Thomas a lot. Isaiah Thomas would get on his players. He would lead them. He was tough. I think their toughness is similar. Isaiah Thomas would play injured. He was known for making big buckets. So I think that similarity is close. But I think he plays more like Chris Paul. I mean, he's definitely a pass-first point guard, great leader. But it's funny. He played in the same conference that Isaiah Thomas played in. And I think and he was 4-time all-conference. So that was kind of nice. And I don't even know that Isaiah did that. But I think the toughness and obviously his ability to lead his team and just, obviously being a scorer, too, when he needs to score.
Absolutely. Great answer. So let's talk about the game. Tomorrow we play the Georgia Bulldogs. Georgia, they aren't a great team. They lost at home to Auburn. They lost at home to South Carolina. But Georgia, the thing about Georgia is they know enough about Kentucky not to be shocked by the Wildcats' depth of talent. And the Bulldogs, they played them on February 3rd at Rupp Arena, and they lost. But with only 2 minutes to go in the game, Georgia trailed only 63-58. So what does Kentucky have to do to make sure that they secure this win tomorrow?
I think it isn't broken. I mean, you got to leave it to play. I think if they play defense like they've been playing all year long, I think if they play in selfish like they've been playing all year long, I think they have no problem.
Absolutely.
At this point, we don't know who the leading scorer will be tomorrow, but trust me, I mean, someone will lead, and it's similar to the last couple games. We've got a lot of the kids in double figures, so I think if they play like they've been playing, I think there's nothing to worry about, and I mean, they're going to be tough to beat playing like that. So. Absolutely.
They're going 40-0, right, James?
Don't get me to say that, man. I would love it. I mean, I would love for them to go 40. They're going to be tough to beat. I think Tyler's Griffin and Lindsey. I don't know how you beat them. So I would love to see him do that, but obviously I don't want to say what may happen. But I would love that.
Absolutely. Well, James, I don't want to take no more of your time. I know you're calling me from the airport. Are you going down to the game tomorrow in Athens? Is that where you're flying to?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm working and I'm flying, and I'm going to see my son play, so I'm having a good time.
Absolutely, man. Make some money and watch your kid play. That sounds all right to me.
Oh, yeah.
All right, James. Well, I want to thank you for being a guest on Off the Cuff, man. I will have this posted so you can listen to it, and I really appreciate it, man, and have a safe flight.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
No problem. See you, James. And that was James Ulis, the father of Tyler Ulis, the point guard here at the University of Kentucky. One of Kentucky's great players. He is, and just this kid, he's just very well-rounded. He's smart. He's a leader, and he's just very talented. I want to thank James Ulis for coming on the show. Sorry if the sound wasn't the best quality in the world. James was calling us from the airport, and for some reason, when you're in an airport, I feel like the sound quality isn't the best because so many people are using cell phones, and there's all kinds of electronic devices, and there's security, and there's people going crazy. So we did the best sound quality that we could do. So hopefully you heard him. But ladies and gentlemen, the UK Wildcats tip off against the Georgia Bulldogs at 9 p.m. Tomorrow. You can follow Tyler Ulis' father, James Ulis, at Ulis5620. That's on Twitter. That's Ulis, ULIS 5620. And I want to thank you for being on the show. Thank you for listening. And ladies and gentlemen, we will see you in the next episode.